We're finally sailing to Cuba.
The Trump administration is imposing new restrictions on U.S. travel to Cuba.
We're still not going to Cuba. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't think of a better time to publish a cruise review than right now when, well, nobody's cruising. So I give you my official review of our 4-night sailing on the Carnival Sunshine out of Charleston, South Carolina to not Cuba, but the Princess Cays in the Bahamas. But first, a disclaimer. The following review is just my opinion and is strictly based on my personal tastes and onboard experiences, so is therefore completely meaningless. Any negative comments are directed entirely towards the management of the cruise line and not towards any of the crew, who are the greatest, hardest working people in the service industry. If you're interested, I'll put a playlist right here. You can check out all the different cruise vlogs that we did from this sailing. I think there's 8 different ones plus a ship tour. Actually, it's the world's fastest ship tour, so make sure you check that out. So let's start off with the ship itself. The Carnival Sunshine was originally built in 1996 as the Carnival Triumph. You may remember it as the Poop Cruise. And then in 2013, it went under a major renovation where it added a whole lot more space and even a brand new deck, creating a new class of ship called the, wait for it, Sunshine class. Since then, the Carnival Sunrise came out last year and the Carnival Radiance is supposedly coming out this year. Might not hold your breath on that one. So what was my first impression of the ship? To be honest, it was kind of mixed. I mean, driving up, you could tell that this was an older ship that they just kind of stuck a box on top of it. Not the prettiest design on the outside. But then when you get on board, it has all of the Fun 2.0 upgrades, it has all the modern design upgrades, you know what I mean? They got rid of all of the garish old Carnival decor, which I actually kind of like. But anyway, that's gone on the Carnival Sunshine. But there were still some places like in the muster drill area, and even when you're looking outside the balcony, there's a lot of rust everywhere. I imagine they're going to be going through another renovation sometime soon because they got to polish this thing. But that did not affect our cruise at all. Sports deck, not the greatest at seas, not the worst at seas. You got your water slide, you got your splash zones, you got your basketball court, you got your ping pong table, you got your miniature golf course, you've got a nice ropes course, pretty much everything you expect in a sports deck. The pool area, a little crowded, not really many places to sit, and just a bunch of drunks everywhere, at least from what I can remember. But if you're over 16, check out the Serenity deck in the back. It's like 3 levels. You've got your own pool, you've got your own little waterfall, you've got your own hot tubs, and you got a whole bunch of, where there's the clamshells, little lounge chairs. Hardly anybody ever back there. Very relaxing, very quiet, great place to get away. The layout of the ship was really nice. One thing that I was really impressed with was the Ocean Plaza, which is in the very, very back of the ship on deck 5. I believe deck 5. It's flanked on either side by the Alchemy Bar and the Red Frog Pub. Red Frog Pub? Yeah. Rum Bar? No, Red Frog Pub. Ocean Plaza is right there in the center. You've got a whole bunch of traffic around it. That's where they have karaoke, that's where they have quizzes. And because of all the traffic flow back there, it seemed to always be crowded. It seemed to be always happening. It was just a great place to hang out and there was always excitement back there. I like it so much better than when they tuck away the karaoke in like one of the small bars. It seems like no one ever goes to it and it's just really small and just the professional singers go. But this was really nice because it's exciting to sit there and watch everybody sing and just have a good time. I did not sing, not gonna happen. On the other hand, just like all other old Carnival ships, it has the 2 main restaurant design, which is impossible to navigate on the first couple of days because you always get onto deck 3 and you get stuck and you can't figure out how to get over to the other dining room because you went to the wrong one in the first place. And then you got to go back up the steps and down the steps. And I just never got that flow. Drives me crazy. And I'm not saying that I got lost, maybe once, twice. The Havana bar. This was a little bit weird for me. Remember when we did the Carnival, what was it? The Carnival Horizon 2 years ago. I don't remember what year it is. 2 years ago. The Havana bar was on the back of actual deck 5. And it was its own bar that had nothing but just wonderful Latin music, just a great flair. It was an actual bar. You go hang out, huge dance floor. It was definitely a destination on the ship. But on the Sunshine, it's at the very back of deck 11, which was kind of weird because that's the Lido deck. So it actually shared a whole bunch of the same seating as the buffet area. Like you go from the buffet area, you'll walk through the doors past the elevators, then you get to the Havana bar. But when you get to the Havana bar, it's still seating from the buffet area. And then over to the right, you have the pasta bar or El Capitano, the Italian restaurant at night. Or over here, you have Mongolian Wok during the day or Gigi's Asian Bistro. More about that later. on the left-hand side at night. And so it just had a weird flow, but they do have great Bloody Marys there. Now, as far as the spa, we always love taking a spa tour at the beginning of each ship because we hardly ever pay for the spa. And it's the only time we can get a chance to actually walk through the spa and see everything that they've got. Well, once again, we got suckered into the thermal spa area, which has the, you know, the daily pass or whatever. You get the thermal spa, you get the saunas, you get the steam rooms, what else? Aroma showers, aromatherapy showers. They had those. They had two of them. Only one of them worked. The other one just like beat me up. Just, it was like a fire hose spraying water in my face, and it was like 2-degree water. Then the thermal suite, the lounge chairs on the first day, I don't even think that they were turned on. And then the sauna on the first day, I guess from people coming in and out so much, it was like, I don't know, 80 degrees, and the steam room was the same way. It was very, very, very weird. Now the second day was a lot better. It must have just been from the first day, people walking in and out. I just don't know if it was worth the price. The men's locker room actually has its own hot, dry sauna, which was actually, it was smaller, but it was actually better than the one in the main area. So you might just want to stick with that instead of looking for a day pass. I didn't really go through all the different ship features because if you're familiar with Carnival, you're familiar with all the Fun 2.0 upgrades on it. So my overall impression of the ship, I'm gonna give it like, I don't know, 3.5 out of 5. You know, it's definitely got a little bit older vibe to it, but it's got all the new stuff to it. So there's nothing great about it and there's nothing bad about it. Just good, solid, kind of right in the middle Carnival ship. Thank you for modernizing it though with the decor. I don't know if I can do another garish cruise on a Carnival ship. Food. Let's start off with the buffet. Because that's what you do anyway when you get on the ship, right? You go start off with the buffet. Breakfast buffet, I'll be honest with you, it seemed a little bit lacking. I don't think it was a Carnival thing. I don't think it was a Sunshine thing. I think I'm just kind of starting to get worn out of the whole buffet breakfast idea because I get the exact same thing every day. Go to the main dining room for breakfast. Go get a burrito from the Blue Iguana for breakfast. There are different options. Go to the Ocean Plaza. They have this a little bit like a smaller spread down there. Just the buffet, it's just really becoming a cattle trough for me. I don't know. We didn't even go to the buffet for lunch. Now, it was only a 4-day cruise. If it was a week-long cruise, I'm sure I would have gone to the buffet more. So I can't really give a review of it. There was nothing special about it whatsoever. Oh, I will give you one tip though. In the Havana bar, they have a little small section next to the bar called Cuban Bites. And they have like little empanadas and just a small sampling of Cuban food back there. That was actually a nice little surprise for lunch for me one day. Instead of standing in line at the buffet, I just went straight back there. A little side note, this is for any of the vegans out there. Now my wife and oldest daughter are both vegan. I know, before you say it, don't go on a cruise if you're gonna be vegan. I get it, I understand. But there was a little bit of a problem with them. They go to the buffet. First of all, there's hardly anything vegan on the buffet at all. So what she did, she went to the omelet station just to basically get some sauteed vegetables. And then she threw that on top of some potatoes. And then when she wanted to get cream in her coffee, they had no almond milk upstairs at all. So we had to go from deck 11 down to deck 5 to the coffee bar so that she could get almond milk for her coffee. So that's, you know, you can have some almond milk upstairs. The weirdest thing, on the Carnival Horizon, you could get a veggie burger at Guy's Burger Joint. But on the Sunshine, you could not get a veggie burger at Guy's Burger Joint, so you just went and got a generic veggie black bean burger or whatever on the buffet, which, you know, it's fine, it's whatever it is. But Carnival, I think you could work on that a little bit. Main dining room. I'm a huge fan of the main dining room. I love getting dressed up, cleaned up, and going to the dining room and having somebody come and serve me dinner and just the whole experience with the wonderful waitstaff on cruise ships. I absolutely love the waitstaff on cruise ships. The fact that they know your name on day 1, the fact that they know what you want on day 2, and they just start bringing you stuff. They just know everything about you. It's one of the most fantastic parts of cruising for me. And this was no exception. They had 2 main dining rooms on this one called the, shocker, the Sunshine. Sunshine? Wait, Sunset? No. I don't remember. Sunrise, Sunset, or Sunshine, Sunrise, Sunset. There were 2 sun dining rooms. Just Google it. We literally had the best waiter or waitress we've ever had on a cruise ship. Her name was Isabel. She's from Peru. She was the most excellent waitress we have ever seen. She completely tended to our needs. She went out of her way for the whole vegan selections for Christy and Peyton. It was a wonderful experience for them in the main dining room. I don't even know if you can request waiters or waitresses when you book a cruise, but if you take the Carnival Sunshine, try to request Isabel's section. She was fantastic. And the food didn't suck either. Like I said, it's got all the Funship 2.0 upgrades on it, so does it have a Guy's Burger joint? Of course. I think I went 1 or 2 times. This was a shocker for me. I'm pretty much what you call a cheap cruiser, and I'm not a huge fan of specialty dining. It seems like you're already paying a whole lot of money for a cruise itself, and so I want to enjoy all of the complimentary food and all the complimentary options that this cruise provides, rather than immediately getting on and saying, here's more money, I want to have more fun, here's more money. I want to enjoy what I actually paid for. We hardly ever go to a specialty dining restaurant. Plus, I'm not that much of a foodie, so I don't really see myself spending a lot of extra money for food anyway. Having said that, we went to Gigi's Asian Bistro. Now, it was only $15 a person, which seems like a pretty good deal for specialty dining, since they usually range from anywhere from 15 to 35 all the way up to 75 for chef's table. But we went for the heck of it, just to try it out, and to my surprise, it was the best meal I have ever had on a cruise ship. It may be the best Asian cuisine I've ever had in my life. I just can't explain how incredible it was. And again, for any vegans who are watching this, Christy and Peyton had the most wonderful meal they've ever had as far as vegans go. It was just excellent experience. That's Italian. I don't know why I did that. Book a table at Gigi's. You will not be disappointed. One last thing, we got to take a tour of the ship galley. If you get a chance to do this, you should check it out. It's pretty awesome. We met the chef of the steakhouse at the steakhouse at like 5 o'clock. And then he took us down these big long escalators. Have you ever been on an escalator on a ship? I haven't. That was actually pretty cool to me. We took these escalators down to the galley. They were getting ready to prep for that night's dining room experience. So we go down there, and they gave us a sampling of basically what was going to be on the main dining room's menu that night. And they were very accommodating to Christy's vegan options. They gave her nothing but vegan options from the menu that night. I'm not a creme brulee type of person, but that was the most phenomenal creme brulee I think I've ever had. And when you go to Gigi's, get the creme brulee there too. It's a lavender creme brulee. Oh, unreal. Take a galley tour if you can. If nothing more, just for the escalator ride. And you never want to forget about the Alchemy Bar. It's the best place for entertainment on the ship, in my opinion. We had an unbelievable bartender. Well, we had 3 unbelievable bartenders, but this one guy in particular, his name was Edward. Comes up to Christy, he's like, what do you like? What's your favorite drink? And she says, oh, I don't know, a rum punch, a dirty martini, and a margarita. What? Okay, I'll make you something. So he makes her some fruity, dry, salt drink concoction. I don't know what it was. Completely killed it with her. I didn't particularly like it, but she absolutely loved it. Spot on. And he did the same thing for me. I told him I wanted something like a mojito. I think it was a mojito. And, spectacular. That's definitely a nightly occurrence. Got to go to the Alchemy Bar. Check it out. I don't care what ship you're on. It's never a bad thing on any ship. Always go to the Alchemy Bar. So as far as food goes, I'd give it a 5 because every single thing on the ship is great except for the buffet. So because of that, I got to give it a 4. But some of the best food I've ever had at sea overall. Great experience. Next up, entertainment. Got to start off with the cruise director. Cruise director Mikey, very energetic, very cool cruise director. I will tell you, I think he had some kind of a hiatus or something and actually left the ship a couple of weeks after we departed. So I don't know where he is now, but he was really, really good. Seemed a little bit more adult oriented than some of the other cruise directors, which was pretty funny, but really good time with Mikey. And over the past few cruises, I've really, really grown to love the atrium parties. And this one was no different. You know, you've got the typical 80s music night, the 90s music night, 70s music night, but everything done in the atrium. 3 decks of people just singing, drinking, just having a great grand old time. Just can't ever get enough of that. But I will say on a shorter cruise, like a 3 or 4 nighter, you may want to do the early dining seating because we had the late dining seating, and because of that, we actually missed one of the atrium parties because they kind of doubled up on stuff. It's almost like they had like a 5-night itinerary crammed into 4 nights, which it kind of made me sad. We missed some of the things. Might want to look at it early seating as opposed to late seating. The shows were kind of lame. Again, the entertainers, the performers were awesome, top-notch people. Singing was great, the dancing was great, but the shows, You had a typical 70s show where they sang YMCA. It was pretty fun though, because they had audience participation where they had some of the passengers come up on board and a bunch of old guys who were randomly picked to get up there and sing YMCA. You know that whole thing. So that was pretty funny. Definitely the more drinks you have, the more entertaining it is. But then they also had, the highlight of the show was Epic Rock. I think this is the third time we've seen Epic Rock. It's fine, but I don't ever want to see Epic Rock ever again. The performers were great. It's just the lineup, it seemed kind of stale. Did Hasbro Game Night. That's always a good time, I guess, if you're one of the people who actually go up on stage to perform it, but it was okay. Love and Marriage, again, because of the early seating, we kind of missed that one. So they do have it on board. We just missed it, unfortunately. And then that brings us to comedians. I don't know what the deal is, but I can't seem to find a good comedian on a cruise ship anymore. The last time, when was it? We went on the Carnival Conquest in 2013. 2013? 2016. Was it 2013? And they had the best comedians on board. I have not seen a good comedian since. It's just what it is. It's still fun. Go check out the comedian. I think the problem is we keep on going to the family shows and they don't know how to be funny unless they can say. But there is one activity we did this time. We did a lot more of than we've ever done on any other ship. Trivia. That's right. We got a ship on a stick. Translation, Christy got a ship on a stick. So we did Harry Potter trivia. They sucked at it. I never watched Harry Potter. We did Game of Thrones trivia. We sucked at it. It was ridiculous. I'm talking high-end nerds couldn't get this. It was pretty bad. But what did Christy win at? Yes, cartoons and kids shows. Of all the children on board, of all the children at this trivia party, Christy's the one who answered all the questions correctly. That's why I married you. So unfortunately, I gotta give the entertainment more of a 3. It was pretty much just what you expect on a Carnival cruise. Again, shorter itinerary. You don't have the entire week to start to get to know people and get to know the entertainment crew and get to know the fun squad. Crammed everything in there in the 4 nights. It was just okay. Finally, itinerary. Actually, that's not fair. When we originally booked this cruise, it was supposed to be a 4-night sailing from Charleston to Havana, Cuba. It was actually supposed to be the first sailing ever from any ship from Charleston to Havana. So that was going to be pretty special. And then later on, as you all know, the United States government stopped doing any touring or any vacationing or anything to Cuba. So this was then changed to Half Moon Cay, which I was cool with. I've never been to Half Moon Cay. It looks like a beautiful beach from the pictures I've seen. But then that was switched again to Princess Cays, which in my opinion, from what little I knew about it, because I haven't been there either, is probably one of the weakest private islands in all of the private islands of all the cruise lines. And, well, I think I was right. It's just very, very typical. You get your fake cutout beaches. There's no actual real beach there. It's really rocky. They like pulled in the sand from other places. It was just a little bit manufactured. As far as local cuisine goes, nothing there. It's just a little small island. I think if you actually leave the gates, you can go to a little straw market, but then you have to have your passport to get back in. It's just, I don't know if it's worth it or not. There's just not much there. If you just want to go hang out and lay out in the sun, it's perfectly fine. But if you want to go specifically to a destination, I'd never go there again. I did get to fly my drone though. There's a video right here if you want to see it. One tip for Princess Cays. Thank you, Diana from the Alchemy Bar, for this tip. Is once you get off the tender, yeah, you tender to Princess Cays. They don't have a port there, so you take a tender boat there. Once you get off of the tender, they kind of like farm you all the way out towards the left a little bit to the beaches. Now the beaches are nicer towards the left. That's where they bring in all the soft sand and all the grooming and all that stuff. However, if you go to the right, it doesn't seem like you can go to the right, but if you go to the right around the backside of the tender boats and out that way, there's actually another beach out there. It's more rustic. It's not quite as pretty, but it's very empty. And they also have food out there. They have every single thing. They have everything out there as well. But that's apparently where the crew goes because it's a lot less crowded. So check that out instead. Even though the destination wasn't the greatest in the world, it was a 4-night sailing with one destination. That gives us 2 days at sea. Who doesn't like a sea day? But the most surprising part of the itinerary was embarkation itself. Charleston, South Carolina. We're like 3 hours away. We didn't have to drive to Port Canaveral, which is 9. We didn't have to drive to Miami, which is like 12 or 13. We have to drive 3 hours straight to Charleston, get on a ship. Didn't have to stay in a hotel, just got up in the morning, went straight to the ship. And the embarkation process itself was actually very, very fast and very, very efficient. Our embarkation process from parking lot to ship was about 25 minutes, half hour tops, which is pretty awesome considering we walked far away and we took a bus ride over to the ship, and it was just very, very efficient. I was not expecting that, especially considering that Charleston was never designed to be an actual cruise port. But there is one thing you need to make sure of. If you're supposed to be there at 11 o'clock, be there at 11 o'clock. If you're not supposed to be there until 1 o'clock, do not go there at 11 o'clock. Be there at 1 o'clock. I think the reason why is because when you actually go to the Port of Charleston, you go to a parking lot. Then you walk over to this building that's nowhere near the ship, and then you do all of your check-in process there. And then they put you on a shuttle, and then they take you over to where the building is right next to the ship, where you go through security, and then you get on the ship. So I think because of all the busing and all of this and that they only take people who actually have timestamps on their card or on their whenever they're supposed to be there. So do not go there early. I don't think they're gonna let you on. So I actually really don't know how to rate this itinerary because Princess Cays, not a fan. Don't ever wanna go there again. 2 days at sea on a 4-night cruise, that was fantastic. The embarkation process out of Charleston was great. The 3-hour drive to Charleston in the morning, not staying in a hotel, and then getting off the ship and driving around. We were home in Charlotte by noon. So I'm actually gonna give this itinerary a 5. So the big question is, can I give this cruise a recommendation? If you were within 3 to 4 hours of Charleston, I would highly recommend looking into this cruise. If you're outside of say 6 hours, I would just go to Florida, just go to Canaveral, go to Miami. You're gonna get a better deal. You're probably gonna get a better ship. There's just much better options down there. Now, if you've taken the Sunshine out of Charleston, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See whether or not I'm right, whether or not I'm blowing smoke. I don't even know what blowing smoke means. I'd just be interested to know your thoughts. So that's all I got. Until next time, happy sailing in the next month or two, or in the fall, or winter 2021, summer 2021, fall 2021, soon.